In previous years, it has gone right to the wire. Looks like it might do so again. Not much to choose between the two teams at the moment, but the USA just in front. Time for our next doubles match, and let's hand you straight over to our commentators once again, Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
Thanks very much indeed. Yeah, so our first appearance of the session for Stu Williams.
I think
Martin Larsen going up against the interesting American combination of Marshall Kent, who will be taking part in 4 straight, and the main reason that he is playing in 4 straight is mainly because of the lower back problems from the American captain Sean Rash. He's going to limit himself to just one doubles game right here. It'll be interesting to see how the back holds up for Rash, and it'll be interesting to see how Kent holds up for Team USA, and whether the Europeans can take advantage.
Yes, Nick, very much a marathon session coming up for Marshall Kent, and as you say, Sean Rash has had a lower back muscle spasm, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And everyone's mic'd up, so we're going to hear what they've got to say to one another, whether it be good, bad or indifferent.
Something like that, I think they haven't tried that one. Who's first for us?
Well, this is a man who's always got plenty to say anyway. Stu Williams.
You're first. I don't see that one picking up soon enough. You don't think it will? I like the bigger balls better. Okay.
Well, yeah, let's see how he moves. Let's see how comfortable he looks when he's bowling. The skipper. Couldn't see any noticeable physical problems there.
No, there was no grimace on his face, was there?
He's got one of the bigger ones. You can at least control the one in front.
These guys just running through their practice routine, and
we'll come off it harder. Yeah.
We've been talking to one another about what's going on.
I don't like it either yet. I mean, I'm going to move another 2 here. Yeah, if you're bowling next game, then yeah. But yeah, that's like bigger. I just want you to see it now. Yeah. I want you to know what I got to go to. Yeah. All right. I do, but it's for fucking what I'm playing.
Williams needs to get himself back on track. He lost yesterday to Marshall Kent in singles play. Those two will meet next in singles play as well. That one went 268-244 in favour of the American.
Oh, well. Thanks, Ross.
All good pals together. They'll play in America together on the PBA Tour and in tournaments around the world, so they are all know one another very well.
It's you. Yeah, I got it.
And that should be the end of the practice session.
Williams got the game face on today.
All right, good luck, Martin.
Stu is one of those serious players, although he's a very humorous man when it comes to standing on the lane and playing head-to-head match play. He's very serious.
Here's the man who's got the record of never having lost in a Weber Cup, Martin Larsen.
Okay.
He's the talisman of the team.
Yeah. All right, come on, let's get him.
I don't want to pick that one up.
Oh,
come on. See if we can.
Which seat do you want?
Let's start with this one. Just to work.
Well, there's going to be a lot of talking going on in this match. Of that you can be sure. Probably not a lot of trash talking, but it'll be interesting to listen in as they talk about the adjustments they make, how the lane is bowling. And Martin Larsen, the 38-year-old Swede, will get this doubles match underway, and he's got a Brooklyn hit immediately, so that is not the way he would have wanted to start.
Nick, it's freshly dressed lane. New lane condition gone down to 40 feet. There's heavy oil in the middle of the lane. Tapers away on the outside, but that shot has just hooked back in the last 20 feet. Gone Brooklyn. And Stu Williams had to spare it, so they're off to a 19-pin starter.
It's okay, you can take whichever one you want.
I don't know.
Just throw a strike.
Well, I didn't try very good there.
Ah, you went for the EJ9. Come on.
Williams just trying to G up his partner there. Marshall Kent, the start of his 4-match marathon right here.
Well, start as you mean to go on, and Marshall Kent has done just that. Absolutely ripped the rack. High five from the USA captain, Sean Rash.
And a little bit of a look over to the Europeans as he went back to his chair there, the two Americans.
You want to go again?
He's having some fun.
Kind of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sean Rash has to step up next and shoot at 10 pins.
Well, Larsen still hasn't exactly got the... oh, he's got it. A delayed reaction. It beat the mechanism. My goodness me. That's why they call him Lucky Larsen.
Well, I kind of thought it might go, so I called it as go on. Here it comes. Well caught, the cameraman. It just goes.
Just as the pickup came down. Hey, they don't need luck, the Americans, with pocket hits like that. And what is exactly the problem with Sean Rash's lower back?
Good, I didn't want to shoot a spare yet.
Well, maybe he's recovered. Maybe he's had a bit of chiropractic treatment up in the green room. There's the single pin that did the damage.
Just
Larsen's lucky strike.
Yeah, really. Just as the mechanism was coming to claim that standing pin as well. So Williams will get a full rack to bowl out, and he too is not quite in the pocket.
Well, he shouted out, "Oh boy," as the ball came off his hand, so he was maybe left of his mark as soon as it hit the lane. So he's left the 3, 6 and the 10 standing up, which should be a straightforward spare for his partner Martin Larsen. Yeah, very much an overreaction in the back end, and lucky to get that 7 pin out as well.
But between them, the Europeans have not managed a clean pocket hit yet in this match.
So bad.
Well, time to settle down. As I say, it's freshly dressed. The last 20 feet of the lane up to the headpin is dry at the moment, but there's plenty of balls going down there, and they're all on the right-hand side of the lane, so oil will transition down, and it may well be that within 2 or 3 frames these guys are going to be having to look for a different line, make some adjustments either with their line of the ball or their feet on the approach.
Well, let's see if there's a counter argument to that, and here it comes. The Europeans are having all sorts of trouble. You're talking about adjustments, bowling exactly the same side of the lane. These two are having no issues whatsoever.
3 great strikes from the Americans. Marshall Kent absolutely rips the rack on that one.
2-1. Okay. You don't want me to get to this. That's the 6 and 2. It's 11 and 4 from Puerto Rico. Where were we last year? Colombia? Colombia. How did you move? I don't know.
All little bits of technical talk going on there between the 2 Americans.
Oh, it's another hit that is just not finding the pocket. Well, this really is going from bad to worse here for the Europeans. I mean, they're lucky that they've been able to stay clean, but that's 4 frames and they've not yet had a pocket hit.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a great shot from Stewart. Again, left of his target as the ball came off the hand. It was left-hand side of the line, and it was only going to go left.
So it leaves Larsen shooting at spares again. Well, let's see if they do have a little bit of a head-to-head here and just try and work out what's going on. No, nothing to say. Well, that tells its own tale.
Stu Williams really working up a sweat as well.
Whoa, drifting out of the pocket, and that changes the dynamics a little bit.
Yeah, it's the 4, 7 and the 9. I mean, the ball was really diving in at such an angle, wasn't it? Hard and fast. It's the headpin a little bit higher. It's 4-9 is the normal leave, but it's got the 7 pin with it. It's a makeable spare, but Marshall Kent is going to have to shoot at. He's got to hit that 4 pin very finely on the left-hand side, and it will bounce across to the 9. But accuracy is what's needed here to prevent it being an open frame.
Big test for the Seattle man. You can see what he was trying to do. But it's an open frame, it's a low pin count, and it's made it a competitive match now.
Yeah, just 14 pins in it now. It's amazing how the scores can close up
I didn't think it was 4-7
quickly on this world bowling scoring system.
But before the European players get too excited, they've got to try and find a really good pocket hit that takes all 10 pins.
It's the worst that could happen. One good shot.
it could be that Stewart's going to change his line here. He did say to himself, what's the worst that can happen? And it looks like a change of ball as well. Well, it was close, but it wasn't close enough, unfortunately, for a strike.
He's having a tough time out there, Stu Williams.
Yeah, one of the stalwarts of the Weber Cup squad for years now, and yes, he is struggling at this particular time. Poor Martin Larsen is just picking up spares for fun.
That was a real frustrating one as well for these guys.
So I think off that, I just need to throw it a little slower.
It's just really hard to do those small adjustments.
I just don't feel comfortable with what I'm trying to do.
No. Still a chance though. Do it. Yeah, baby!
Well, if Stuart Williams wasn't feeling comfortable, he'll be feeling even more uncomfortable now. Sean Rash gets back on strike, and that's a nice, healthy cushion that they've got against an opponent who, as we've just heard by his own admission, is really having a tough time out there.
And the Americans look happy together. Lots of talk and chat.
It was much more better.
Unfortunately, the Europeans aren't talking very much at all.
And he's got to pull himself out of this, because he's in singles action next. He has got to get himself out of this slump somehow. Sometimes one strike is all it needs. There it is. Now, is that the turning point here?
Yes! That's how excited he is.
Strike shot. Yes! I hope you will.
Kind of fortunate, because that 10-pin was the last one to go, and it went very slowly. Yes, he's now going to push Martin Larsen into the #1 slot, and he's going to have to shoot the strikes. There's the 10-pin standing. It gets a little kick up the rear end, doesn't it? And away it goes. And that's what it means to Stu Williams.
Here's Marshall Kent. That wasn't the greatest pocket hit. Really thin on the head pin. It just keeps the Europeans hanging around in this match.
Yeah, it's not the greatest difference between them. That last shot just went on too long, didn't it? Didn't come back and hit the headpin properly at all. Shaunton just about make a single pin spare, and he'll high-five somebody for that, yes.
They're shooting 101. How are we doing?
Still only 14 pins difference.
Like,
we're past the halfway stage of this game, coming up to frame 7 now. So any team that can hit a couple of strikes could
I missed it at the bottom.
Really take advantage in this game.
It seems to have been forever since Martin Larsen had a full rack to aim at. Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, that was probably my fault.
They haven't quite mastered this back end, this 20 feet of dry back end at the moment. Very, very tight line. It wasn't going to go anywhere except left, and it was high left of the head pin. Leaving 2 in the corner for Williams to spare.
Which he's done. And it's looking bleak here for the Europeans.
Yeah, that's the punishment you get for throwing 4 bad shots in a row, like I get. You know, I threw 4 bad ones, and you don't even get to throw another shot. We're going to do move another few off that and open up.
Yeah, well, it's like I didn't give it a chance. Yeah. But I think I have to move a little bit more.
Yeah, me too.
But it was like it never got to the spot.
Both of them just fighting the lane. In contrast, the Americans looking comfortable. They're laughing and joking. They're enjoying themselves. That wasn't another good hit, but he's got the luck.
Who else is getting one of them?
Well, occasionally a player has to get lucky, and Marshall Kent has just got lucky. It's a great looking shot. It's hard and fast. It's high on the head pin, and there's some flying deadwood coming around, and that 4 pin's now gone. Have that.
go with that. I was like, oh.
The difference moves to 26 pins.
Well, just about everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for the Europeans in this particular match. They've never looked comfortable, either of them. I mean, the amazing thing is, they're still in it. I mean, it's a slim hope, but if they can get a few strikes together, even at this late stage, there's half a chance. But would you back them? No. Even when they get a good pocket hit, they're not getting the luck.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Martin just threw a pretty reasonable shot there for the pocket. It was just the angle the ball was coming in at. The 3 and the 6 didn't react to the 10 pin. The 6 pin just lays in the gutter. The flat 10. Simple spare for Williams. And the interesting thing up is, Nick, of course, that Marshall Kent and Stuart Williams play the next match, singles.
Rash takes all 10 to effectively seal the point here. It's going to be 3 in a row for the Americans. Boy, they are building up a head of steam.
They certainly are, yes. Yeah, great looking shot from the American captain. Extends the lead now to 37 pins and only 2 frames to go, so they're looking rather pleased with themselves.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. You know, because you're going to do a whole lot more bowling today. Huh? I said, because you're going to do a whole lot more bowling today. For this session.
And again, just not in the pocket. We talked about the problems that Stuart Williams has had, but Martin's had his share as well.
Yeah, they've really struggled with this oiling pattern. They did actually select it, the European captain selected this oiling pattern, but this is a freshly dressed lane, and you would have thought that guys of this caliber would have sorted it out by now, but they do really seem to be struggling. This match is pretty much done and dusted.
Just remember, worth making the point as Williams misses to just put the seal on this disastrous showing from these two. Really, they have not gelled as a partnership. Neither of them has looked good. This, the oil pattern that Team Europe picked for themselves.
It's not doing doubles records. It's got average and he got the.
I just want to explain that Stuart's practicing a strike shot. He wasn't going for that spare. He was just practicing another strike shot because he's up in the next game and really wants to get kind of locked and loaded on a decent strike line. So they've accepted the match is lost.
See what this does, where he's at.
Well, that went very wide. Maybe I think Marshall Kent was also trying something different for the next match because he's up next.
Yeah, you're quite right, Nick. Just seeing what reaction he would get from the outside of the lane.
Sean will take that away.
I'm gonna grab another one.
Well, Martin Larsen has to shoot a strike here for the European side to get through the 200 barrier.
And while he's doing that, I think Marshall Kent has gone off to get himself another ball, so he's going to try yet another different ball. As, ooh, yeah, he's trying a very, very wide line. There's the sub 200. Yeah, they would have got over 200 if they'd just tried to stay clean, but as you say, they're just, I mean, that says it all. By the 9th frame, they're practicing for next match up. They've been all over the place in every sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't looked that good on TV, and it looks even worse on the score sheet.
Unlucky.
Lowest game of the tournament so far, 1-8-7 for the Larsen-Williams combo.
They've both got plenty of action still to come. They've both got a singles match to play, and Martin's got a doubles match as well. Signing off with a strike is a man who's also going to be busy for the rest of the afternoon, Marshall Kent. Well, that was pretty one-sided. And just like that, 3 wins in a row have restored American dominance. It was 4-1. The Europeans pulled it back to 4-4. The Americans pulling away here, and this on a lane that was dressed specifically for the Europeans as well. This is a very worrying time for Dominic Barrett and the rest of Team Europe. The USA running away with this session.